Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in you.
PNC has been taking the pulse of small to mid-sized businesses throughout our region, and the bank's got some encouraging news for both employees and for job seekers. Pete Vaccaro is here with the answers. He's Southwest Pennsylvania Market Manager with PNC, which is, of course, the sponsor of our region's business. Jerry McConnell is the owner of Freight Management Plus, and welcome to see both of you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
So, Pete, we have you back a couple of times a year to hear how the survey's turning out. I hope you've got better tidings on this visit than you had last spring.
We do, and businesses are optimistic, in particular as it relates to hiring, so they're thinking about hiring more employees. And with that, they're also positive and more optimistic about wage increases. But with that comes the offset with increases in prices relative to their goods that will be sold. So you have that offset.
Jerry, tell me a little bit about Freight Management Plus. Where are you guys based? What do you do?
Sure, we're based in Allison Park. It's a north suburb of Pittsburgh. We're a fourth generation freight management company. I represent the fourth generation, and our goal in life really is to help small to mid-sized manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors optimize their supply chain, gain efficiencies through administrative processes, and they really benefit from our leverage of the expertise in the industry and understanding supply chains and what makes them work.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, how do you've had a chance to look at the survey. Does it describe you? Are you feeling a little more optimistic these days than maybe 6 months or a year ago?
We are. We have seen an uptick in our customer base. We have hired numerous employees over the past year. So we've seen significant growth not only in our client base, but also the need for more skilled employees in terms of our service offerings.
Are you feeling any pressure in terms of finding people? Are you having to pay them more? I mean, what's the dynamic in terms of workforce demand?
We are. There's a constant battle to find the right skills, the right skill sets. We're kind of unique in terms of what we do in this area. And also the pay scales. People are wanting to earn a better living, benefits, 401k programs. Flexibility is a big thing in terms of family life. So making it all fit can sometimes be a challenge, but we've had some nice success.
So you say wages are going up, Pete. Well, that's great for the employees, but it is a challenge for the business owner. You gotta balance that. You need the people,
absolutely,
but it's a cost.
Certainly is, and that's one of the things that that we found in this survey and what impacts that. So one of the things that we found was that the winter that we had last year was dramatic, and we all recognize that. But in this survey, 40% of the people that were surveyed were impacted, and of that 40%, 60% of them have not recovered. Wow. Which is a significant number. And so as we think about that, what are we going to do to help our clients as we prepare for the upcoming winter, which all the almanacs suggest that will be another difficult winter? And so some of the things that we're preparing our clients to think about is acknowledge the weaknesses in your business, particularly as it relates to the cash flow of your business as it's impacted by frigid weather. And what are you going to do to help create a plan so that those peaks and valleys could be mitigated? Secondly, we would suggest strongly to store sensitive data, maybe using cloud-based technology to do that. Another thing would be enroll in online banking. Utilize mobile technology so that you can do banking from anywhere, so that you can pay your employees, pay your suppliers, and not miss a beat. Really, really important as we think about the upcoming winter.
How many of them still not recovered? Huge percentage.
60% of those that were impacted.
So that then has impact on hiring and everything else. They're still trying to get back to square one.
Right.
And it does show the implications. As I have to believe in the freight management business, it must have been a challenging time last winter.
Yeah, winters, bad winters aren't truckers' best friends. So we saw in early January, the supply chain was majorly disrupted through storms all the way up until the middle of February. And from February on, we've seen a substantial increase in tonnage, substantial increase in the number of shipments. And to kind of piggyback in terms of optimism, we've seen nothing but upscale from our customers. So We see an economy recovering, not only locally here in Pittsburgh, but we have clients across the country. And the biggest challenge we see with manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors is capacity in the trucking and supply chain industry. So we can't put enough drivers in trucks. There's a lot of regulations that inhibit our ability to hire safe workers. So, but we can tell you that from our perspective, it's very optimistic. There has been a consistent movement of durable goods, raw materials, and finished products. So from our perspective, things look really good in most segments of the market that we see.
Well, it's interesting because you did see the uptick in optimism, but it wasn't a groundswell. I get the feeling like small and mid-sized businesses are still kind of being careful, still sort of watching it all unfold to some degree.
They are, and that's absolutely true. And there are things on their minds as it relates to, you know, the healthcare reform, minimum wage, potential movement there. So those are things that are in the minds of our business owners, and Jerry and I talked about this earlier. You know, before they hire an employee, they think long and hard as to what the long-term impact is to their business. And so it's a very different mindset today than it's been in the past.
All right, well, great insights on all of this, and I guess we'll have you back in a few months and see if we still keep the momentum going.
That's great.
Yeah, Pete Vaccaro from PNC and Jerry McConnell from Freight Management Plus. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.